When I first started trading, I struggled to find consistent success. I would have success at times, but I wouldn't be able to consistently keep the profits I made. And it just felt like I was gambling in a casino. It took me 4 long years to realize that I would consistently be in this losing cycle until I made certain changes that I'm gonna reveal to you in this video. Once I started to make these changes, I saw my profit graph go from consistently losing money to consistently making money. Every trader that eventually becomes profitable has a similar story to this. Yours might be slightly different, but if you listen closely to what I'm about to tell you, you will be able to take actionable steps that will improve your trading no matter where you are in the trading journey. Consistently, I would find myself in situations where I'd spot a great potential trade and I'd end up getting scared that the trade might end up being a loser. I would then skip the trade and watch as the market would just soar off in the direction of that trade without me. And so instead of making a few $1,000s, I would end up making 0. And I'd always feel like a complete idiot. I'd then continue to watch what the market was doing, and along comes another potential trade. But this time, it's not as good of a trade opportunity, and I know I should just skip it. But maybe I'm just being scared, and I should just toughen up and get in. I don't want to make the same mistake twice, so I jump into the trade, and this time it fails, and I lose money. If you've been in this exact same spot, you know how frustrating this is. Because of that loss, now you start doubting yourself, you start beating yourself up. And I would get even more triggered. I either leave trading for the day, quit it, and I would have, a dark cloud over me the rest of the day. It would kind of ruin my day. Or even worse, I would actually end up stay trading and start revenge trading and take even more losses. Even if you're dealing with this with your trading right now, I have answers for you. Let's talk about a few key takeaways from that story. First, you need to understand how your emotions are affecting you. Understand what emotions you feel when you're trading and how you impulsively act based on those emotions. If you don't have an idea of what they are, then you won't have a chance to be successful at trading. Second, your emotions are all connected like a web. The first emotion I felt there was the fear of the trade not working out and me losing money. I then got frustrated with myself because I skipped a massive winning trade that I knew I should have been in. And then on top of that, I took a trade that I knew I shouldn't have been in and created a loss. So now in these situations, not only are you not up money, but you're actually down money on the day. This is why one simple change can have a drastic effect on your trading results. If I was able to jump in on that first trade, the cascading effect that skipping it wouldn't have happened. So what you need to do is start to write down your emotions when you're trading and how you react to them. How do they cascade into each other? Because this is how you start to build a foundation of your emotional web, and you'll see how everything is connected. Now, because you'll start to find you have a lot of emotions that are negatively affecting your trading results, let me tell you how you can fix that. Let's talk about habits real quick. Common habits that you're used to is something like going to the gym once a day versus going to the gym every other day. This is a very tangible habit, but our emotions actually have habits too. Our brain naturally gets into habits of how it emotionally reacts to situations. Just like my story about the emotional path I go down after fearfully skipping the first trade. This is a bad habit my brain had, and I had to figure out how to change it. You have mental habits that your brain repeats over and over. Some are good habits and some are bad habits. The key is to finding ones that are negatively affecting your trading and change them. This takes a lot of hard work. Now, the steps to actually fixing this is initially, you just need to become aware of them. And as you become aware of them, over time, this awareness will get stronger and stronger. In the beginning, you will still notice these habits and reactions that you have in hindsight, but slowly, just like I did, you will start to notice it earlier and earlier until you can stop yourself before you act. For an example, when I was scared to jump into a trade, I eventually started catching myself in real time wanting to skip that trade opportunity. I then remind myself that it's perfectly normal to be scared or nervous about getting into a trade. There's so much unknown about it, but I wouldn't let my emotions control my actions and skip the trade like I had done in the past. And so this is how you can break the negative habits that are affecting your trading. So I would then take the trade and not let my emotions control my actions. That's the key here. You can feel whatever you want when you're you're trading. But you can also decide how you want to react to those emotions. Just because you feel angry at someone and your first instinct is to punch them in the face, it doesn't mean you have to do that. You could decide to kiss them instead, even though you're angry at them. Now, this is a great start to change your trading for the better. But I eventually realized that just understanding how your emotions affect you and the patterns they create wasn't enough to be consistently profitable. There's still a big key to the puzzle that you need to be able to take your trading to the next level. So I used to have days where I felt like I was trading flawlessly. An emotion would come up and usually that would trigger me and it didn't seem like a problem. But I couldn't understand why. Some days I would trade perfectly, then others it would be an emotional roller coaster where I was chasing trades, impulsively jumping into them, or even revenge trading. These days would usually wipe out all the gains I had on days where I was trading really well. And as a fellow trader, I know this has happened to you, and here's why. Pretend that your body has a battery. When you're well rested, like after a restful weekend or vacation, your body battery is really full. You are more likely to have patience to deal with frustrating things. You know, going back to the example, somebody screaming at your face is easier to deal with. You know, you don't feel the need to punch them in the face. Versus after a long draining day at work, your body battery is really low. And it's much easier for you to get pissed off at that person yelling at you and impulsively punch them in the face. What I eventually realized though was this is the exact way your trading goes. On days where you are trading flawlessly without impulsively reacting to your emotions, your body battery is generally very high and you're really well rested. And days that you aren't rested and your body battery is really low, your emotions will really easily take control of you and you'll act impulsively. The key here is to start to become aware of that and where it is in relation to when you're trading and how it plays into your trading. If you think about it, why not only trade at times when your body battery is high? Let me show you how you can use this to become extremely consistent when you're trading. Eventually, I realized that my trading results were correlated with my stress and how rested I was. When I wasn't stressed and well rested, I would have good trading returns. But when I was stressed and not sleeping properly, I would be more likely to make a bad trading decision and it would end up causing me to lose money. But you have to know when you need to take a break and reset your body battery. This can vary on how drained you are. Sometimes you need just a good night's rest to be ready to go the next day, and other times you need a whole week's vacation to get back to normal. This is something you'll get better at understanding over time, and it's something I'm still working on myself. I've actually noticed that I have what seems like a boom and bust cycle where I am really in the zone trading and I'm being consistently profitable, and then I'll overwork myself and my body battery will become really depleted and I'll still continue to try and trade and I won't reset properly. I will start to make consistent, trading mistakes. The key though is to be able to reset and take a break before your body battery becomes so drained that it negatively affects your trading. That's the key here. Trading will always be there. The key is to be there when you are ready to trade. The only thing you can really control in trading is when you jump into a trade. The outcome of the trade, what the market's doing, they're all completely out of your control. So every time you sit down at your desk to trade, you better be at peak performance levels because trading is a war and you better be ready to fight every single time. You wouldn't show up to fight tired and not able to give it your all, right? That's the great thing when it comes to trading is you can choose when you want to show up to fight. A really big realization I actually had was even the most successful traders out there that are making millions still have ups and downs, and they're not emotionless robots that execute their strategy perfectly. They still have negative emotions that they have to deal with and ups and downs, and you will have emotions that negatively affect you. But if you are able to trade only when you're well rested, the impulses that you have based on those emotions will be manageable. Over time, you will be able to slowly stop reacting to those emotions, change the habits that are negatively affecting your trading, and switch them into positive habits that will cause you to be a consistently profitable trader. So what are some trading habits that are really crucial for your success as a trader? In this video right here, I'm going to show you what habits you need to be successful with and what habits are stopping you from actually being successful.